Okay, moving on. Public hearing for the renewal of the franchise agreement with Time Warner Cable. Discussion.
The proposal for the Time Warner agreement is that the state law requires us to approve their franchise so that they can operate within the town. The proposed franchise agreement is basically virtually identical to the one that we've been operating under for the last 10 years. There is a part of that agreement provides that Time Warner will put a Roadrunner internet connection in any municipally owned building, so long as it's within 200 feet of an existing connection. The rest of it is the same as the old one. Currently, there's a 3% franchise fee that the town board can choose to keep or increase. And we just need to have this public hearing before we can approve it. You don't need to approve it tonight if you want to discuss it further. Unfortunately, the Time Warner people couldn't be here tonight. They had a conflict. So if we want to adjourn this for another night, if you have more questions, we certainly can do that.
Discussion on the board, but I believe that I think that we should to defer this because we'd like to have a, be able to chat with them a little bit about the contract.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's here tonight that wants to speak for or against it.
I do.
I'll open the public hearing then. Anyone who would like to speak against it?
My name is Deborah Gardner, and I am a Time Warner family. We are a Time Warner family in my home, so I wouldn't want you to not renew this. But I do have a couple of questions. The town attorney did mention the paragraph 3.10 that about the Time Warner will provide one outlet to the library, public or parochial schools, and to any building owned by the town. Okay? The former contract in paragraph 15A stated that Time Warner would provide and maintain a single service outlet to any school, police station, firehouse, and municipally owned building. So I'm wondering if the police station and any substations that we may end up with, and if the firehouses will also be included in this new contract. Okay, that's one point I would be interested in. I also would like to know if this means that perhaps the town hall will soon have public access Wi-Fi at the town hall. It's another point. The next paragraph I want to address is 12.1. It states that Time Warner will not discriminate in providing services or in its employment practices based on age, race, creed, color, national origin, or sex. Will you please consider asking Time Warner to include sexual preference and gender identity in that list? I am sure that Time Warner does not discriminate in either of those areas, but I think that they should also be included. This is 2010. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak against?
Make sure you got me on there, didn't you?
Anyone else to speak for? I'll close the public hearing. Open for discussion.
I just wanted to point out that the revenue that we have gotten at a 3% rate has been, in the last year, in 2009, was $240,000. And the proposal, as presented by Time Warner, right, Tony? They were the ones that submitted this proposal?
Yes.
Is to continue a 3%. So I just wonder, it's too bad the Time Warner people aren't here because I wanted to ask some questions to see if perhaps we could, if we considered an increase in the revenue rate, what that would mean as far as passing on the fees to the customers. I wouldn't want, large fees, but this is an age where everything else is going up, so I think we should consider the possibility of getting additional revenue from a slight increase. Now, I'm a Time Warner customer myself, and I don't want to see my cable rates go up either, but I think, you know, it's reasonable to consider a slight increase. I also agree with the statements made to have cable outlets in all of the buildings. I'm not sure, was the canteen center specifically mentioned or not? Right now, we don't own that building, Jody? But we will?
The Friends of the Canteen will own.
Would you
the
please
building.
speak into the microphone? The Friends of
The Friends of the Canteen will own the building.
okay, not the
We will
town.
lease it from the Friends. The town will lease the building from.
If it's a leased building, can we try to get a cable outlet there?
Yes, the contract says owned or operated by the town, so, and I've already talked to Time Warner about this. They're agreeable to put a installation in any of our buildings. You know, whether it be the teen center, the senior center, whatever, that's no problem.
Okay. The other thing is that the language in the agreement, if I have the right version, speaks to a lump sum payment once a year. But in fact, we have been getting quarterly payments, you know, and I think that's a good thing for our cash flow. So if we can, you know, continue that.
It will be quarterly payments.
Okay.
The other part of the contract that we would be looking into is this contract is a 15-year, and we would be like to discuss this possibility of shortening that contract.
Yes.
What time frame?
Well, it's 15 years now, and we need to take a look at that and not have it, that's too long a period of time.
I think 10 years, I mean, things are changing so quickly. I think 10 years is a long time too, so maybe even half of that.
We need to talk to them about it, that would be discussion.
Well, I just want to express my opinion that I think 2 years is still too long too.
Tony, is it possible to have a representative here at the next meeting, perhaps?
Yes, unfortunately, they just had a conflict tonight. They would have been here otherwise, but I told them that we were going to have a public hearing, we would keep it open if we had to get somebody here. So, yeah, there's no problem.
It would be interesting to ask the question prior, though, if you're going to be speaking with them, if there is any increase of the percentage, does that affect the consumer passing along anything? So if you could perhaps...
I can answer that question.
That so we could have that information ahead of time.
I can answer the question now. Yes. The franchise fee is paid by the cable users, not paid by the company. And it goes through the company, but it's paid by the cable.
It's going to be passed on to the
Correct.
users.
With that, then, we will leave the public hearing open and defer to our next board meeting, which is, I don't have the date.
September 8th.
September 8th. We need a motion on that, please.
To leave it open? Yeah. We didn't make a decision or anything, we just deferred it.
So hearing
No, just leave it open.
will remain open.